10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2.
Filmed in front of a live studio audience. It's Good Afternoon, Magnolia.
Welcome to our Good Afternoon, Magnolia, our midweek talk show that looks and takes a look at mental health and an up-close view of issues that are important to the Magnolia Clubhouse community. I am Anthony, and we would like to welcome you back to our show. We hope that you'll be enjoying our weekly show. Side by Side Productions finds the best topics for you, our viewing audience, and let's meet today's other host.
I'm Alina.
And hello again. I know y'all missed me. I'm Ryan. Let me tell you about today's show. There will be some guided meditation. You know, you got to center yourself. Nam Myoho Renge Kyo, Nam Myoho. And we'll be doing more self-care. We will also check out Sherry's new entertainment segment. I'm sure we'll look forward to that. And some more important Clubhouse news.
Before we get into today's hot topics, it's time to acknowledge today's sponsor. Today's show is brought to you by Goldilocks Cream of Wheat. Even the three bears can't say no.
I love some good cream of wheat. I eat a bowl every morning. Now for today's hot topic. Anthony will lead us in a conversation about the toxic train crash in East Palestine, Ohio, back on February 4th, that is still having an impact on our community today.
Yes, thanks, Ron. Yeah, the train crash that happened in East Palestine, Ohio was a big devastation.
Oh, yeah.
Not only to the southern Ohio, but also to Kentucky, Louisville, and the states below us. Currently, they're not getting any funding from the president as far as helping those people out. And a lot of people are actually going out their way, donating water.
I thought FEMA was there.
I'm not sure if FEMA was there, but it's just, you know, it's a horrible situation. I think they said about 45.
But you know the cause of this situation, right?
Yeah, I know the cause of it.
The hot box, you know, that went on for miles before it failed, and this is a symptom of the fact that, you know, the last administration got rid of all the regulations that would have prevented something like this from happening to save money. And we see the result when people cut regulations. You know, the last administration cut over 1,500 regulations that so companies wouldn't have to be responsible. They wouldn't have to do that. They would have been an optional choice. And we're paying for that optional choice because they had to do a controlled explosion for all those chemicals that are now seeping into the ground, and people are paying for it. And now those people in a predominantly poor community don't, like you said, don't have many options. So, you know, this is a catastrophe, and it shows you what corporate greed does to America. And, like, you know, the long-term effects are, we're the ones as a community, as a state, we're the ones that'll be suffering from that, because it's going to take a while to get all those chemicals out of the ground, out of the soil, and get that community back on their feet.
Right, and there's also, not even in Ohio, there's a couple other crashes that happen around the country where same situation, where you got all this toxic, polluted stuff in the water streams. I think they said 45,000 animals died from what happened in East Palestine. And it's a shame because, like I said, you drink that water, you might end up with cancer.
Anything.
You can't even boil it. Actually, I was talking to my sister. My sister lives in Columbus. And I watched this video of a man boiling, or he tests the water in Columbus. And the tap water, you can't drink the tap water in Columbus. So I told my sister, you know, don't drink none of the waters, keep the babies away from the water.
You know, they do have something that you could get. They made a straw that filters out. You can actually put it. It's for like poorer countries. There's a straw you can put in dirty water, and drink from it, and it'll filter out all of the other crap in the water. It's supposed to be a very nice invention, and it's something like that. I think during this time of uncertainty with the tap water and everything, I think people would probably prefer something like that.
Right. And like you said, there's other like creator inventors that are trying to come up with purified water, cleaning water. I know in Lakewood they're trying to. One of my friends, they bought his house to try to purify the Lake Erie water, but it's a serious issue. I'll just say that.
Man, we drinking Lake Erie water every day in the clubhouse. We
drinking
Lake Erie water.
We drinking Lake Erie water. You know, I'll just say, you know, it seems like this stuff is going on. It's like people should just save up on water. You just don't know what's going on. What you feel like? How you feel, Elena?
Well, I honestly think it's very scary, and after what happened in Michigan, I honestly don't think this is an accident, and it's scaring me. And people at my work, customer-wise, they don't think this is an accident either after what happened in Michigan. They think this can be happening on purpose, and we might have to be on the lookout. At least, you know, I know we have all different opinions, and I respect that,
Right.
but I'm kind of getting scared about it, you know, and my cat Luna, I feed her the water from my fridge. I don't
Right.
give her tap water,
Yeah.
and I've been feeding her the filtered water from the fridge
Yeah.
for actually months now. Not just since this happened, but
Right.
I've always spoiled her by giving her the filtered water.
Filtered
But
water.
after this happened, I'm like, thank God.
Right.
I haven't been giving her tap waters in general, you know. But,
Right.
So I don't want my baby to get
And
hurt,
then
you
the
know.
the people about Flint, Michigan, stuff like that, that also happened. Like people in Flint, Michigan, Baltimore is having water issues. This is a national thing that's going on right now. So we just wanted to bring that up at the Magnolia Clubhouse.
Yeah.
And thank you guys for letting us have the opportunity to speak on that.
Very.
Okay, that was a good discussion. It's time to go to hospitality unit for their report.
Hey guys, I'm Tia,
I'm Vance.
and we're just here to talk to you guys about the do's and don'ts in the kitchen. Oh wait, Vance, you should use a different cutting board when you're cutting up your veggies, because your veggies and your raw meat shouldn't be cut on the same cutting board.
Okay, thank you.
We all want to avoid washing extra dishes, but this is one area in which you shouldn't take shortcuts. Using the same cutting board for meats, fruits, and vegetables is a way to risk getting salmonella. To avoid cross-contamination, you should use 2 cutting boards, one for your raw meat and one for your fresh fruits and vegetables.
Hey, Tia!
Tia, stop. You supposed to have the knife down, not up.
Oh, facing
This is dangerous.
Okay, so like this.
Yes.
To walk across your kitchen with the knife, you will want to have the blade tip pointing down towards the floor with the sharp edge of the blade facing behind you. It is also important when you are working in the kitchen with other people to make sure you are announcing that you have a sharp item in your hand. You could say something along the lines of sharp or sharp corner. That way you're giving someone a heads up that you're coming around the corner with a sharp item.
Stop, Tia. You need to wash your hands.
You would think this is a given, but people do forget. Don't forget, it's important to wash your hands in hot soapy water before and after cooking. Hey Vince, maybe you should try to cook a different day this week when you're feeling a little bit better. People who prepare food while experiencing any type of illness, diarrhea, or vomiting are frequently linked to foodborne illness outbreaks in kitchens and most restaurants. So if you are feeling sick, it's important to make sure that you are not in the kitchen or anywhere around food so you are not spreading any germs and trying to get anyone else sick.
Thank you, Hospitality Unit, for another fantastic report. I mean, my goodness, guys, you're a trove of information.
In today's political report, we will look back at the State of the Union report.
Hello, Clubhouse. I'm Ron. I am here today to tell you about some highlights from President Biden's State of the Union. And I think that more than any other president in recent history, he's touched on a lot of key issues that affect our community, like combating cancer deaths in America. That's something that he is focused on. He's also putting the country's efforts into combating cancer and putting more research into defeating the scourge known as cancer. He's also going to be directing a lot more funds to the VA for mental health for veterans who suffer from suicide deaths, or I shouldn't say suffer, from veterans who've committed suicide. Did you know, since 2010, more than 71,000 veterans have taken their life? And they, so we need to really focus on that as a community, and I'm glad the president is taking the lead by focusing on that. He also focused on tackling the mental health crisis in America. Did you know that more than 40% of adults in America report having symptoms of either anxiety or depression or both? President Biden also wants to promote and advance his mental health strategy across its three objectives across the country: creating healthy environments, connecting more Americans to healthcare, and strengthening our system's capacity so that more people can be treated, so our system will cope with more people. Moving on, he's dedicating over $500 million to strengthen the 988 infrastructure. He's expanding Medicare coverage to include additional mental health and substance use disorder services. He also wants to fight the opioid and overdose epidemic by accelerating the crackdown on fentanyl trafficking in the country. These are just some of the things that President Biden highlighted in his State of the Union. If you'd like to know more, you can go online and look for more information at whitehouse.gov. I've been Ron. Thank you.
This year's address has many layers to it, just like celebrities across the world. Let's go to Sherry for the entertainment report.
Hi, Magnolia Clubhouse. Sherry here with your entertainment report for Good Afternoon, Magnolia. So today I've chosen to talk about Britney. I know this has been a bit of a hot button topic. I want to say 2 weeks ago, families and friends came to Britney and they were trying to do some type of intervention. According to sources through TMZ, they were saying they were scared that she was going to die. I don't know if that means she's taking illegal substances. I think we all know that Britney has a diagnosis of bipolar. She just got literally her money and her life back from her father because she was under, I don't think it was guardianship, but he literally had control of her money. So she just, the Free Britney movement, all of that stuff kind of happened, I want to say maybe last summer. So she's free and she has her money and she can do as she, sees fit. However, people are noticing that she is not doing very well. I even followed her on Instagram just to see what the big deal was. And I will be honest, I'm not, a psychiatrist or anything, but she does seem as though she's pretty manic. She's dancing very fast, or if she's not dancing, she's showing parts of her body, which doesn't make a lot of sense. Nothing she's doing on Instagram makes a lot of sense right now. Not to mention her two sons don't really have anything to do with her because they are afraid for her. So I don't know, it's really causing a serious, I guess, break between the family. People had this intervention. I hear it did not go well, and nothing came of it. So, I understand everybody was just like, free Britney, we want her to be happy, but if she's not taking her meds and if she's self-medicating with something, I mean, how free do we want her? I mean, don't we all want her to be okay? I don't know. That's my question to you. What do you think? Otherwise, I will see you next week. Bye.
Thanks, Sherry, for that oops, I did it again report. Mental health affects us all. Let me say that again, ladies and gentlemen. Mental health affects us all, no matter how famous we are. Here are some resources for your mental health.
Hi, Clubhouse. It's Emily here with Ryan, along with our guided meditation. Meditation is a great way to slow your thoughts and ease your anxiety and just take a break and be in the moment. Today we are going to do something called 777, which is real easy. First, we breathe in for 7 counts. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then hold for 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And then slowly release. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Simple as that. And you can do this as many times as you want to, help slow your thought process, ease your anxiety, and, if you just need to take a break for a few moments, it's a good exercise to do. So, thanks, and have a great day. Have a great week, everyone. Back to more news.
Hey everyone, I'm Matthew, and I'm here to tell you about Senvello. Senvello is a mental telehealth app that uses the clinically backed principles of cognitive behavioral therapy, or CBT for short, and mindfulness meditation to help users with anxiety, depression, and stress. The app is subscription-based. Depending on which subscription you choose, you can access all or some of the services Senvello offers, including self-care, peer support, coaching, and therapy. With your subscription, you receive a number of tools to use, including guided meditations, journaling prompts, goal trackers, community boards. And additionally, if you opt for the upgraded plan, you also receive access to the mental health coaches with previous experiences in health, wellness, or mental health fields. The paid plan in some cases can be covered by your insurance. It's worth noting that Senvello coaches are not therapists. While they are trained in mental health and coaching skills, they cannot diagnose or treat mental health conditions. If a coach thinks that you'd be better off with a therapist or need additional care that's outside of the scope of the program, they'll help guide you to the right type of practitioner just for you. Thank you.
That was a great mental health break. Now let's address our physical bodies.
Maintaining a healthy scalp and hair through good hygiene and proper hair care can help prevent and control many diseases and conditions. Use soap and clean running water to remove dirt, oil, and unwanted residue from your head. Break up the buildup. Like the rest of your skin, the scalp produces a natural oil called sebum that moisturizes and protects your skin from infection. Some people produce more sebum than others. When the body produces too much sebum, it can build up on your scalp. If you shower less frequently, dead skin, dirt, product residue, and sweat may also build up on your scalp. This can result in greasy hair, increased risk for infection, and unpleasant odor. Practice these habits to improve your scalp and hair care routine. Use an exfoliator on the scalp to break up the buildup. Select a shampoo and conditioner that works for your hair type. Wash your hair regularly, brush regularly to prevent tangled hair and to help break apart buildup. Washing your scalp helps control scalp conditions and infections. Ringworm on the scalp spreads through direct contact with an affected animal or person or from the environment. Good hygiene practices like not sharing combs, towels, or other personal items, and washing your hands regularly can help protect you. Head lice spread most commonly by direct head-to-head or hair-to-hair contact. However, much less frequently, they can spread through shared clothing or other belongings. This can happen if lice crawl onto those items or eggs attached to shed hair fall on the items.
Good hygiene practices are important for preventing and controlling the spread of hair lice. For example, don't share combs, brushes, or towels, machine wash clothes, and linens used by people with head lice.
Thank you for that report. You know, as James Brown once said, I feel good. Look good and feel good. So we have an important report coming from Angel about some future Clubhouse news.
Hi, Clubhouse. I want to give you a little bit of information about some upcoming things going on in June. So we are anticipating having our CARF and our Clubhouse International accreditation in June. We are hopeful that they will overlap each other and that they will last 2 to 3 days. In preparation for that, we have 2 weekly meetings. The first one is just to review the expectations of CARF, make sure that we are well prepared. And the other one is to review the standards for Clubhouse International to make sure that we are following the standards and to discuss any improvements we might need to make in following the standards. So both of those meetings are open. Members are welcome and invited to participate. The standards meeting is not scheduled yet, but we will get you more information as it becomes available. Thanks.
Did you hear that music?
No, I don't. What music?
The music coming from Keith's segment.
Oh, I see what you did. Last week was the Pointer Sister. Let's find out what the soundtrack of this week is.
Next up is legendary guitarist Jeff Beck.
I got to interrupt you here.
Okay.
I was wondering who you were going to say that last but not least, whether it was going to be Jeff Beck or David Crosby. So you chose David Crosby to be the last. Okay,
yes.
So we'll go with Jeff Beck.
We're going to go with Jeff Beck, yes. Jeff Beck, virtuoso guitarist, spent 7 decades. He had a 7-decade-long career. He first started in the late 1960s with the original Yardbirds, along with other artists, which included Clapton and later Jimmy Page, who eventually, when the Yardbirds broke up, Jimmy Page took the Yardbirds and formed the band which was known to be Led Zeppelin. However, Jeff Beck had a legendary career after the Yardbirds, including one of my favorite albums, the Jeff Beck Group, in which he had singer and Hall of Famer Rod Stewart, bassist, now guitarist for the Rolling Stones, Ronnie Wood, and legendary drummer Carmen Appice. Now, that album, that one particular album, was probably one of his best ever work because it was really a rock and roll / blues album with a lot of good background. The bottoms were between Ronnie Wood and Carmen Appice were extremely precise and accurate. And how can I say nothing more about Rod Stewart's legendary voice? I mean, when they actually recorded the studio version, they didn't need to dub Rod Stewart's voice. All they did was just put in a power mic because his voice was so natural. All they did was just use a power mic and let his natural voice.
I think we could say that actually Jeff Beck was one of the original supergroup people.
Yes.
And that is that all the people he had been in groups with throughout his career ended up reforming into other groups that actually ended up being bigger than the group that they were in before. And they kept and then that brings us up to David Crosby.
I always learn so much about music.
Let's end the day with a funny joke.
Why did a man name his dogs Rolex and Timelex? Because they were watchdogs.
We have reached the end of our show. Ron and Alina, how did you think the week's show went?
I thought, it's really good. I'm glad, that, we're bringing attention to what happened in East Palestine, Ohio, because before this, nobody even heard of East Palestine, Ohio.
Right.
I mean, just like nobody had heard of Flint, Michigan before whatever happened with them happened, and their drinking water problem. But I will say that even though this has happened, I still would advise people to drink the water. I mean, the city filters that water very, very well. If you are worried about drinking tap water, you can also go and get a Brita filter and put a filter over your faucet. There are alternatives. So I don't want people to stop drinking water, because it's healthy for you. It's better than junk food.
Right. And I'm very happy that I got this opportunity to come here. I've never done this before, so I'm very happy. And I'm very happy that we got to talk about the East Palestine.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we've come to the end of another wonderful, rousing show. Make sure you tune in next week for another episode of Good
Afternoon
Magnolia. See you next time.
The opinions expressed by Good Afternoon Magnolia do not always represent the views of Magnolia Clubhouse.
If you're living with mental illness, join the club.